They shadow banned me. They shadow banned me. That's the shit that they do. Who's they? Them. That's who they is. They want a hero so bad. They want a hero so bad, y'all. That's what I think. That's what I thought when as soon as I seen the shit that happened. I was like, oh, yeah. They want a hero so bad. Of course, all the people in the crowd, at the event, they had no idea. I believe, they just want to, because I say this even about my own people. Right now, everyone wants to be a martyr nowadays. Everyone wants to be a martyr. Because everybody can't be a LeBron or a Michael Jackson or a Jordan or a Kobe, you know what I mean? Everybody really don't have no talent, you know what I'm saying? Follow me. Yeah, everybody really don't have no fucking talent. So, you know, nowadays everybody want to be a martyr. That goes for every walk of life, all groups. Everybody want to be a martyr nowadays because they have zero talent. That's what I thought as soon as I seen the event. I was like, oh, yeah, this might have been, you know, orchestrated. This might have been a whole setup. He might have signed the dotted line for this. Like Utah out of all places. Utah out of all places. Like, he would always talk about Chicago, Chicago this, Chicago that, or different black cities, Baltimore, you know, Memphis, different black cities and shit. And I believe he'd have been safer. He'd have been safer in those cities, safer than Utah. But I just jumped straight to that, man. I believe they want a hero so bad, they want a martyr so bad. All signs is pointing to that. You see that in everything. You see that in sports. They do it with what? They do it with Luka and fucking Jokic and what's the chick name in the WNBA? Like it's like looking for some reason, because they make everything in the race. I don't believe nothing they say as far as, oh, it ain't never about race. Like, please, you're the one who put race in the atmosphere. You're the one who put race in the fucking, you know, in the psyche. Like, of course we would be able to see we're different. Of course we would be able to see differences. You put race in the psyche because you're inferior. You're weak, naturally. Naturally, you're weak. Like, I believe he represented all the mediocre motherfuckers, like kind of like, because I this is what I seen, because I spent some time today watching some of his videos on my rest day. You know, and I got the armor of God, so I knock down that spirit. I don't let it consume me or what have you. But I spent some time watching some of his videos today, because I didn't follow the guy. I seen his videos a while ago. I seen probably a clip or something a while ago, and I didn't you know, take interest to it. So, but I could say that, yeah, I watched some of his videos today, and I noticed that he has an arrogance. You know, it's the typical arrogance that comes with white privilege. Like, they could be mediocre as all get out, non-talented, you know, no skill, no kind of confidence, but that's what they ride on, that confidence, the white privilege confidence. Like, that's the thing that keeps their head tooted up high, knowing that, you know, at least I'm in control of this situation. At least my people is in control of this situation we call Earth, this life experience. That's how they look at it. All the way from the you know, the homeless, you know, the less fortunate, all the way to the motherfuckers up top. Because the up top ones, you know what I mean, they could be, you know, which that's how they are, you know, health is bad, all that, you know what I mean, looking like shit and all that, and still have all the money in the world, all the tangibles, and still don't, you know what I mean, they're not satisfied. They're not It doesn't come to them to be like, ah, man, we should try to change the world, make the world a better place. It doesn't come to them. Like, long as they can say, hey, I'm on top of you, pause, I'm better than you. That's how they look at it. I'm better than you, you know. I run the government, I run the hospitals, I run all this shit, so you can see that, like, it's an arrogance, It's an arrogance that comes with them, with it. So I could say that he represented that right there. Like, people come out in droves to support that shit. He's saying shit that they don't have the courage to say. You know what I'm saying? He's saying things that they don't have the courage, to say. Most of them, you see this complex in the comment section, in the comments on social media. That's what you see. You see people that are they'll never say these type of things in person. You know what I mean? If anything, it's the reverse effect. They'll be like, "Hey, what's up, brother?" Shit like that. And it's very disingenuous and it's very corny. I always look at it like, damn, when did the world become like this? And I'm like, oh, okay, now I remember it. Because I remember when I was younger, I grew up with AOL chat, Yahoo chat or whatever the fuck, the different chat rooms that motherfuckers used to do the same shit. And this is like that to the like nth power. People got so much fucking courage based on you in a safe place. You in a safe place. And he represented it. He represented that. The mediocrity of that, the mediocre people, the mediocre fucking society. The people that walk around with masks and they run on just image. Like, they don't necessarily have to be that. They can have a costume on and just maneuver through life like that, just a costume. Like, one thing that comes to mind is they're quick to say Christianity. I've learned, now that I'm older, I've learned that Christianity is used in this system that we're in to, like, they use it as a bartering chip. Shall I say it allows them to justify things. That's the way they look at it. Like, I've learned that Christianity was created in the guise, they use it, you know what I mean, behind this is good. And what they considered good was, quote, being white. You know what I'm saying? Which is very weird. Very weird. And anything that's not white, you're not a Christian. You're not, of God. You're evil, basically. Anything that's not white, you're evil. That's their idea of Christianity. In the definition of Christianity or Christian is like being Christ-like. Like, and it's like none of what you represent is Christ-like at all. But at the same time, they don't even say this part right here. Christ actually did discriminate. Christ actually did segregate. He was for, segregation and being set apart. That's what holy means. But they don't speak on that part. Theirs is set apart. Theirs is through the guise of being white. So So yeah, he represented that, like he was their hero. He was their hero for speaking up on things that this is what they talk about at their dinner tables. This is what they talk about at the lunch breaks, the lunchbox talk, the gas station talk, and any other, you know what I mean? The idle time. This is what's on these people's minds. And that's why I say I respect these times, because it confirms a lot of shit. Like, cause a lot of people be making it seem like people are just, it's all in your head. And it's like, nah, it definitely ain't in our head, man. He was even one to admit that, yeah, they have redlining, you have mass incarceration, you have different, institutions that are oppressing my people, foundational Black Americans. He admitted that type of shit, but he also straddles it, making it seem like my people are weak, and like, why are y'all not able to overcome the battle? Why are you not able to overcome the oppression? And it's like, I just think that's like totally this fuck nigga shit. It's like, man, shut the fuck up. Like, you've never even had that kind of pressure. You know what I mean? Most of these motherfuckers that be having these opinions, you know what I mean? Like I say, they speak from a safe place, and they basically not outside. They never even been in no kind of hardship, let alone they people never been in no hardship. They won't admit that all that business or that business that they have, you know what I mean? It'll say since 1908. I've said this to somebody recently. It'll say established in 1908. Yeah, you can use that just for marketing, you know what I mean? Trying to, gain credibility, looks like a reputable business or what have you. But majority of the times, man, like, that wealth actually does come from those times. The wealth actually does transfer from those times. And else, what the generation, like his generation in his 30s, looking like he's older, but shit, in his 30s, he's speaking of, oh, why haven't y'all overcome this, or, or he harps on the factor of, blacks not being, which this has been debunked. He tries to say like black men are not in the homes of their children, not in the lives of their kids and shit. Knowing damn well they skew, and they have the power to skew numbers, skew census records. You see what I'm saying? Like tax records. That's what he's basing this shit off of. Oh, this is the number of single black women that are filing single on their tax records. So that means that there's no father in the home. There's no father in those kids' lives. When we have debunked that literally black men are the only ones, the highest number that are in their kids' lives. Just like with the whole, when you speak of mass incarceration, the highest number that are actually locked up is white people. And even Latinos, sometimes they mark themselves, they check themselves off of white, hey, they fall under that as well. They fall under that umbrella as well. And one thing I want to say, as far as, him saying a lot of things that a lot of them can't say, out in public or what have you, don't have the balls to say, even online or what have you. Well, let me say this. They do say that shit online. That's why TikTok is so, big and all that. Like, people just love to say shit from a safe place. And, you notice that, they're starting to crack down on that type of shit. At least with the threats. At least with the threats and shit. You got some of these white supremacists posting leaving comments like, "Oh, I'll burn your whole house down," or doxing you and shit like that. It's like, yeah, that should be a charge, man. That should be a fucking charge. It should have been a charge. I don't understand how that you have to wait until it becomes a cry out, or your people get hit and now it's a problem. It's like, no, that should have been a in your loss prevention program when you make a social media app, when you make these apps. It's very disgusting. But anyway, yeah, he represents the people that feel that way. You live amongst these people. You coexist around them. You work around them. You patronize their businesses. They're behind the cash register. And you see, once this happened, they hit dogs holler. That shit start coming out of the wood. They start coming out of the woodwork, right? Coming up from under their rock, and that shit hit a nerve. That, you know what I mean? It struck a nerve. Like, oh man, this shit hurt. Cause it's like, damn, who's gonna speak up for me? Who's gonna tell it like how we feel? Who's gonna keep upholding the lies that we feel? Cause that's all it is. That's all it is. Like he's saying a bunch of shit. It's like a shock value. They ride on shit like that. I wanna parallel it to like the class clown or the the bully or or a comedian. A comedian might not necessarily say truth, but they'll use truth and then twist it. You know what I'm saying? Make it entertaining. Make it entertaining and appealing and attractive. And they'll gain, you know what I mean? You'll gain a following off of that. You'll gain a following off of that. Now, what he was doing is he's using politics. He's using politics here in the U.S. More so from a racial angle. You know what I'm saying? And that's dangerous. That's dangerous as fuck. Dealing with politics alone is dangerous. On the side note, see, they thought once that happened, the white supremacists, many of these people were looking for a black person to have done it. They was looking for some kind of black connection to connect to this situation. And it's like, nah, man, this is your own. You remove us out of the equation. This is how y'all feel on a daily with yourselves. That's how you know that, I want to throw this out. That's how you know that you did not build America. You didn't build this shit. You might have built the degenerate part of it, the dysfunction and all this fuck shit. Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? The capitalist part of it, all that, yeah, you build all that, but you're not capable of coming together. And I'm one to tell you firsthand, because I've worked with them for years, just in my credentials, I was able to be around these motherfuckers and make money around them. And I'll quickly notice, like very first day, within an hour, you'll notice that, oh man, this one is, not qualified, that one ain't qualified, this one ain't qualified. Like you could just literally tell this is nepotism. Oh, this is just, you got the gig just purely off of your skin color. You ain't even qualified. You don't even know how to do this shit. So with that said, I'll see the arrogance. He portrayed that, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what attracted his following. Like I said, he was like a hero for them. They're like, hell yeah. He he could walk with his head up high and be mediocre, shitting on different topics, different groups, in society from a safe place. But the only place he wasn't safe is around his own. That's crazy as hell. But that's the inevitable, though. You touching on topics that are very, very sensitive. Especially, he should know that. Being a white man, he should know that it's you the ones that kill over shit like this. You kill people over beliefs. You kill people over skin color. You kill people over less. You see what I'm saying? You kill people over just you waking up and having a bad day. But you had this running narrative that, blacks is violent, black dude, what your last words was something about gang violence. You know what I mean? And it's like we all know that, the police, the government, your whole system is the biggest gang. We don't have no fucking organized crime. You have organized crime. And all the other groups have organized crime that y'all turn the cheek on. And they know it. They know it. All these other groups know that shit. The Asians, all of them know that shit. They walk around with their tail tucked, you know what I mean? They walk around with their tail tucked, literally. Long as everybody can hold the white man's dick and keep it moving, you know what I mean? Long as, they pitch up, they chip up to the white man, you know what I mean? And the white man kicks them down that little privilege, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, we're going to keep running this narrative. Just go along with it. We know it's wrong, but shit, just keep going along with it. We know the blacks ain't going, they're not going to uprise. We got all these institutions in play that, that they paralyzed. As you can see, like, I'm going to keep running the narrative that, ain't no fathers in their home and shit like that. It's like, nah, man, none of that is the truth. They back be against the wall. Their back be against the wall. He was their final fucking, like I ain't gonna say final. He was one of their spokespersons, people to speak on that gave them hope. Speak on shit that gave them hope. It gave them, you know what I mean? It gave them some type of dignity, like on some shit, like false dignity, but you get what I mean. Like it's like we winning, we winning. We got a cat out here that's, he's speaking false shit, and they know it. We following it because we speak false shit too. We're liars too. That's our culture. But shit, he's famous. He's moving waves, He's making he's, you know what I mean? Like shit. Yeah, he was their fucking hero, man. And then please believe, being that he got X'd out, there's plenty of more waiting to take his place. There's plenty more that's waiting to take this man's place, take that man's place. And that's sickening though, right? That sounds like insanity. It's like instead of looking at this shit like, damn, that's dangerous. That's a bad way to, approach this situation. Like, and I ain't even gonna lie, some of the things I agree with what he said. I know that might even surprise some people. But I believe a lot of us do. Because most black people are conservative. Ain't that some shit? They try to make it seem like black people are liberal. Like we don't even run on conservative or liberal. It's just purely like on some like humanity. Like I'm all for the people. I'm all for the people. And that's what most my people would say. They're for the people. Right and wrong. Just or not just. These terms, conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, all that is It's crafty counsel. That's that bullshit that they, done constructed to control once again, kind of like racism or money, credit systems, IQ, all that. All that is just to control shit. They don't even have to qualify on these standards either. They got so many loopholes. I've learned, I like to pick different ones' brains, you know what I mean? I advise people to do that when they speak to the dominant society, you know what I mean? Like, especially if you work for them, like, that's if they're, willing, if they're willing to put out the information. A lot of them don't know that you picking their brain, you know what I mean? They'll just put out and not even know that they're, giving you information that you can take back to the tribe and fucking, boost your shit up. Cause that's one thing that I've learned of being employed or working for any of them. I noticed that they don't really be educated on a lot of things. They don't really be like it's pretty much on autopilot for them. Like they were nominated for the position that they're in just based on how it's been going for the past whatever century or whatever the fuck for their bloodline. That doesn't necessarily mean that that person worked hard to get there. But yeah, they want a hero so bad, they want a martyr so bad, and it's very sad. I don't like it for my people. I don't want, I noticed that in these streets, these, a lot of the young boys or what have you is wanting to be a martyr. To me, that's what it translates to me when, the step you're being a crash dummy, you know what I mean? You're being a crash dummy, and then you're thinking that it's honorable. You're thinking that it's honorable that, your block or your set or whatever, it remembers you for, whatever, because you look at it, this is degenerate right here, that you look at it as you put in work, and it's like, actually you hurt somebody's mother, you hurt somebody's father, you hurt somebody's family. You hurting your own family, you know what I mean? Because I don't believe that you come from even family that really ran like that either. You know what I mean? Believe what you believe wholeheartedly at your level either. So becoming a martyr, they're thinking that comes easy. Like I don't think even George Floyd wanted to be no damn martyr. But, being that we're able to see these things all the time, everybody's looking at that as like, man, I would love to be a hashtag. They would like to be somebody that's remembered famously forever, without doing anything, that, nothing honorable. Nowadays they considered, this hate speech, this whole narrative, that people are pushing, like, fuck the other side, and all that. They look at that, because there's so many people that follow this type of rhetoric. So it's like, that's my hero. Oh, man. Even if they get knocked off like Homeboy did, they look at that as honorable. And it's like, this nigga was actually inciting violence, so much so that he did it in your own community. Because y'all have so many problems that are unresolved. Like you don't even face your problems. You're so focused on my issues. You're so focused on black people's issues. You're so focused on trying to keep us down that you can't even see your own shit. And And I can say that for all these other groups too. They're doing the same exact thing. They be so focused on trying to keep us the fuck down because they're buffer classes. They you know, that they don't even see their own problems. And this type of shit exposes that equation most definitely. This type of thing exposes it most definitely. Cat is all the way out the bag. Like, yeah, when these school shootings happen, you notice like it doesn't get like they quickly try to like humanize the shooter, like try to make it seem like they're gonna highlight all the you know, the normalcy of his shit. Like, oh, they you know, they were in I think they said about the shooter, he was in some trade program, like he was a year and a half from finishing or what. I don't know, like that, you know, oh, they were a 4.0 student and shit like that. But on the flip side, well, like when it comes to any kind of, you know, black person doing a crime, that you know, they instantly go straight to, they'll go as far as dragging their mother, dragging their father. The man himself said he don't like the word empathy. He don't respect the word empathy. And as you can see, what's going on right now is that this happened, and then they're so fucked off in the head. This exposes that as well. They're so fucked off in the head that they're trying to link their anger or what have you to this shit to black people. They're trying to, you know what I mean, divert their anger towards black people. They had some kind of protest saying white men fight back or some shit, and it's like, who are you fighting back to? I hope it's yourself. You know what I mean? I hope it's your fucking self. Like no one's ever doing anything to you. In the history of America, no one's ever doing anything to you. It's yourself. They make heroes out of the most, you know, degenerate motherfuckers. Like he got famous off of debating people, having a method of debating people about topics, and he'll have a way of doing it that he'll say a rebuttal or say his response, and it's very to dismiss what you say by cutting you off, lies. Like that's the biggest part about his debate. His debates, it'll be based off of lies. But one thing I can, like I said, you know, previously, it was some things. You know, that's what's crazy about a liar, man. That's what's crazy about a liar, man. A liar have truth in it. A liar will have truth in his shit, and that's only to draw, you know what I mean, some type of attraction. Because they can't just outright just be straight. Like he couldn't just outright just be straight full blown racist. You know what I mean? That's why I did a whole live, like they not doing it right. You know, if they gonna be like how their ancestors was, at least pick up where they left off and like have some nuts about it. Like, you know what I mean? No, they gotta have some. They try to make it seem like they're professional. You know, they do that passive aggressive shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm not. That ain't what I said. That ain't what I mean. You know what I mean? Type shit. Like it's non-conflicting, which is pussy to me. It's like, no, I'm not a gray area person. You either are or you ain't. You know what I mean? You either do or you don't. You're not going to fall in some slot where you have one foot on the right way and one foot on the wrong way. You're not going to do that. That's what they do with Christianity. You see what I mean? That's what Christianity does for them. It allows them to hide behind the guise of Christianity, all while being anti-black, saying fuck this, fuck that. And he represented that. He spoke for a lot of these people that are afraid to be full-blown that way. And I hope they realize that being that way is going to cost you. It's going to cost you. Yeah, you might not get knocked off in your neck or whatever. Or, you know what I'm saying? You might not get splattered like Homeboy did or whatever the fuck. But shit, I know it's costing you. I know it's costing you. Anyway, they want a hero so bad. They want a hero so fucking bad. And they'll sacrifice their whole. If the morals is already absent, you know what I mean. How can you know what I mean? How can they can even distinguish between right and wrong? The morals is already absent. What they say, an alcoholic has to fucking admit that they're alcoholic first. That's the first step, right? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. They don't even see nothing wrong in it. And from these situations, you're able to see people come up from under they rock. Come up from under they rock, and they let you know how they really felt. But with that said, shit, don't think that there won't be another one, though. Don't think that there's other ones brewing. And I'm gonna leave it with this. I believe that even he knew that was going to happen. Some people are saying that they don't think that. I believe he knew that was going to happen. Not per se like that, but even so, I don't dismiss that he might even knew that was going to happen like that. They're saying this was a distraction from what's going on with Trump and what the so-called Epstein files and shit like that. I don't even follow none of that. None of that even matters to me, and it shouldn't matter to none of my people. That's none of this shit is our business. I want to leave it with that. None of this shit is our business. We're just sitting back and watching. You know what I'm saying? This ain't none of our fucking business. This is they fight. They're eating off their own tail. You know what I'm saying? And I thank the Most High. I thank the Most High for keeping me. Have your way, Lord. Have your way in this situation. Have your way in this situation. Amen.